Hi there viewers, thank you for according us your time. This is the 9:30 a.m. Prime Flash coming to you live from My Media Prime Television, and I am Dolly Ngonde for presentation. We begin updating you with the Martinez Zogo case, where lawyers seeking justice for the murdered journalist have through a press release signed this Wednesday, March 15, 2023, have said that only the wife of the deceased journalist, Diane Zogo, has the legitimate right to organize the funeral service of her late husband. The defense team adds that any attempt to remove Zogo's remains from the Yaoundé Central Hospital mortuary constitutes a shameful provocation and an insult to the memory of the deceased journalist. And in more news, at least some 10 suspects have been arrested in connection with the Douala-Yaoundé highway organized robbery, which saw the attacks on speedy vehicles plying the highway with the use of stones by some hoodlums from the Maritime Sanaga Maritime Division of the littoral region. Now, the attacks which took place particularly on Sunday, breaking Monday morning, have had many severely injured, as they are currently receiving medical attention in various hospitals across the country. Meantime, it should be noted that a security meeting has been held, and after a press briefing was held shortly by Littoral Governor Samuel Ivaha Diboa here in Douala, giving details that 4 suspects had been arrested. And yesterday, after the meeting there in Ekite, in the littoral region here, the divisional delegate, the divisional officer for that part of the country, Cyril Abando, has said that security measures are currently being toppled up to ensure that this doesn't happen again. You're welcome back, and now we talk something else, where the lifeless body of a Cameroonian who hails from the Batibo region of the Mumu division of the northwest region of Cameroon has been found hanging on a rope at the basement of his sister's house in the United States of America. According to sources, the man in question had been planning to relocate to Canada before he took away his life. Details of this story with Catherine Ekongwe.
Call police, call police.
This is the lifeless body of Paul Mister, a Cameroonian who hails from Batibo in the northwest region and was living with his sister in Maryland, USA before taking his own life. According to relatives, he had been planning to move to Canada in the weeks ahead due to problems he had with his documents, as the process to rectify them seemed to be a tough one. The deceased went missing for several days before his body was discovered hanging from a rope in the basement of his sister's house. As at now, what pushed Paul, who had a wife and 3 kids in Cameroon, to take his own life is not clear. However, his last post on Facebook was on February 22, 2023, where he encouraged Christians to be charitable and cheerful during this period of Lent. Meantime, investigations have been opened to determine the exact cause of his death. It should be recalled here that this is not the first case where a Cameroonian is committing suicide while in the diaspora. A similar incident was recorded late last year, where a lady of about 30-year-old committed suicide in Dortmund, Germany, as police, after investigations, discovered evidence such as her disabled Instagram account, destroyed telephone, and a farewell message to her mother.
It's quite a sad situation there. Now, still on a sad note, a fire incident has left many homeless in the Ojila village in the far north region. Coming up with details on this story is Bukengo Wadi, who tells us the actual cause of the fire and also the damage incurred so far.
10 kilometers away from Mora, in the Mayo Sava division of the far north region of the country, lies in arches more than 100 huts in the village of Ojila, burned by a ravishing fire. Reports say the fire outbreak came from a bushfire that extended into the village, setting farmlands, houses, crop, cattle, amongst other things, ablaze. Though no life was lost in the fire incident, Victims with more than 4 wives as per their tradition, having about 20 children from fertile bearing, lament about means of feeding, clothing, housing and protecting their family. Worthy of notice the fact that people in the north and far north region of the country in recent times have been battling with severe Boko Haram attacks, kidnaps and killings, and this disaster, leaving them with their children homeless, exposes them to more danger as well as famine. To this regard, they beckon on the powers that be to look into their situation, especially for their homeless children who are without a roof over their head and almost starving.
Welcome back. We hope that authorities take into consideration the suffering of the common man. And now on to this information of general interest. At the invitation of His Excellency President Paul Biya of Cameroon, the 15th ordinary session of the Conference of Heads of States across the Central African Economic and Monetary Community (CEMAC) will be held in the Unity Palace in Yaoundé Camp tomorrow, Friday, the 17th of March 2023. And on to something else. The Constitutional Council has since Sunday, March 17th, 2023, registered 5 petitions in the context of the disputed electoral posts. They were presented by 3 political parties which are calling for the total annulment of elections in some electoral constituencies. It should be borne in mind that the deadline for submitting appeals was yesterday at midnight. And in more news, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Kavayege Jibril, and his close aides have also visited the construction site of the new edifice of the Lower House of Parliament in a bid to evaluate the progress work done so far. Now, coming back as remarks, the entourage has expressed satisfaction alongside the Speaker as they remain optimistic in occupying the new structure within the next 15 months, which is due for delivery. And now, away from that, let's talk something else where stakeholders in different sectors have observed the World Consumer Rights Day in Cameroon. This was yesterday, March 15th, as they met in Yaoundé with the objectives of raising awareness about consumers' rights and needs. On this occasion, the Cameroon Telecommunications Regulatory Board did organize a press conference demanding that the rights of all consumers be respected and protected, as they equally raise awareness on the rights of consumers of electronic products and services. You are still watching the 9:30 a.m. Prime Flash, and we are broadcasting live from My Media Prime Television and our headquarters here in Douala. Now, away from that, the Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund has begun a 2-day working visit in Cameroon. Kenji Okamaru is holding meetings here with top officials to discuss the state of corruption, while we get the details with Joy Ngong in this report coming up.
The Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, arrived Cameroon a day after the approval of conclusions of the 3rd review of the Economic and Financial Program. Kenji Okamura arrived at the Simalen International Airport in Yaoundé in the evening of March 14, 2023 on board the ASKI KP-30 from Abuja. He was received by Finance Minister Louis-Paul Mutaze. The 36-hour visit involves meeting senior state officials of the Republic of Cameroon. Prominent on the agenda has been a consultation meeting with the Ministers of Finance, Louis-Paul Mutaze, and the Minister of Economy, Planning and Regional Development, Alamin Ousmane May, with focus on the state of cooperation between the IMF and Cameroon. More specifically, some technical exchanges on the monetary situation on the one hand and the overall macroeconomic situation of CEMAC on the other hand. Recall on March 8, 2023, the Board of Directors of the Bretton Woods Institution approved the 3rd review of its economic and financial program with Cameroon, an approval which was also an agreement for the disbursement of 46 billion francs CFA to Cameroon as support budget. According to the Ministry of Economy, the 46 billion envelope makes a total of 240 billion francs CFA support package from the IMF to Cameroon since 2021. Kenji Okamura is set to leave Cameroon on Thursday, March 16, after meeting with the governor of Beyak as well as the president of the CEMAC Commission.
That was Joy Gang reporting there. Now, in related news, Governor Adolphe Lily Lafrique of the Northwest region has celebrated 11 years of his regime as governor for the Northwest region. While compiling his achievements during these 11 years, Eileen Sama will now come up giving us details on how the event went down in Bamenda. Take a listen to her report.
Adolphe Lily Lafrique Chofo Durban has been at the helm of top administrative position in the Northwest region of Cameroon for 11 years since the 14th of March 2012, taking over from Abaka Ahmed. When Governor Adolphe Lily Lafrique took over the baton of command from his predecessor, coming in from the east as governor, the Northwest region was in peace, calm and serenity until 4 years later, in 2016, when the Anglophone crisis erupted. The chief executive of Cameroon's Northwest region witnessed how the armed conflict in the Northwest degenerated from a coffin revolution in 2016 to a blood battle today under his command. Nonetheless, many believe with his expertise in administrative affairs, Adolphe Lily Lafrique managed to handle the crisis with a lot of intelligence and tactics to avoid the entire region from burning down. He is being celebrated today as the longest-serving governor of the English Northwest region of Cameroon, counting exactly 11 years with lots of achievements and numerous shortcomings. One of Governor Adolphe Lily Lafrique's big achievements for these 11 years in one of Cameroon's 2 Anglophone regions is his acquisition of a master's degree with a first-class honor in public law in December 2021 at the heart of the crisis. The administrator had enrolled into the University of Bamenda in 2020 and 1 year later graduated with a master's degree and top in his class. In handling the Anglophone crisis, Governor Adolphe Lily Lafrique Chofo Durban has always outspokenly told Cameroonians living in the diaspora to stop causing havoc in their homeland while calling on them to contribute for peace building. As a CPDM militant, Durban Chofo has always exalted President Paul Biya, calling him a father of peace and great developer. 1 month back, when the head of state celebrated his 90th anniversary, Governor Lily Lafrique thanked him immensely for sacrificing 60 years of his life at the service of the nation. Worthy of note here is the fact that the 62-year-old senior administrator is a peace crusader with security concerns top on his priority list as governor of the Northwest region of Cameroon. Adolphe Lily Lafrique Durban is an origin of Babaju, West region of Cameroon, married with kids.
Thank you, Eileen Sama, for that success story, which concludes today's edition of Prime Flash. Thank you very much to listeners and viewers for your keen attention. I have been Dolly Ngonde for presentation, and the news was produced by Johnson Vula. General coordination came from Faith Tata, as well as supervision from Kum Lunat. And at exactly 10 a.m. Cameroon time, the brief is coming up, as well as in the house at 11 o'clock. At 12:30 p.m., the country news is coming up in the Pidgin language. For now, goodbye and have a blessed day.